Massive shame that the two best teams in the competition aren't facing each other in the final England-New Zealand Rugby World Cup. This is coming from Weirs. By the way, I'm any Welsh fans out there. Interesting. Jimmy, I'll start with you on that.
Yeah, very interesting. I suppose his questions come on the back of some of the form they've shown, the way they played, especially both the quarterfinals. To be honest, it could be a final. It's going to be a final atmosphere, and the intensity is going to be up there on Saturday. It could go either way, to be honest. It's going to be one hell of a game.
I feel like it's a bit like Wimbledon, Nadal against Djokovic in the semi-finals. Brilliant other tennis players in and around, and Wales has certainly fancied their chances as well as South Africa. But I believe whoever wins out in England and New Zealand will go on and win the World Cup. The way in which they've gone on in their quarterfinals and put 40 points on their tide. I thought New Zealand were excellent. I thought England were good. Australia's tactics was so disappointing. They gave England everything they wanted, playing from everywhere, not wanting to kick. That stubbornness really played into England's hand. But I do believe the winner of the World Cup will come from that semi-final. There
were some great tries in that England game,
yes.
And the New Zealand game, of course. But it was interesting. Ugo was talking about the amount of kicking. You kind of forget about the kicking when the tries are so good, but it's built on a really clever kicking game.
Yeah, well, there's two things that England and New Zealand do in particular, and everyone just focuses on the end product, which is the tries. But I went through the stats earlier. England kicked the ball 731 metres. That's almost 8 lengths of the pitch. England kicked it 837 metres, which is unbelievable. So it's not just their lengths of kick and their ability to get territory and how proficient they are when they get down there. It's also the kick to gather or regather. We see it in the Gallagher Premiership with Saracens. So England kicked the ball 29 times, regathered 19.
It's interesting, isn't it, though, when you have
unbelievable statistics.
When you have children and you start reading statistics like that, because you can't go out anymore, Ugo. Welcome to our world.
It's pretty geeky, but I think there is a genuine point there, correlation between what they do when they kick, whether they're kicking for territory or just looking after the ball back. It's such a big part of their game.
If you have a drop-down menu on those meters, you kind of split them into two things. Coaches will look to kick to score,
yes,
or kick to apply pressure to the opposition, and England are doing the second a lot. They're kicking to apply pressure to the opposition, huge amounts. The question against New Zealand, Jimmy, if they're kicking to that back three and they don't get it spot on, Bowden Barrett at fullback, I mean, crikey, he's just unbelievable. There was one bit of the weekend where the ball would chip through. He wasn't going to gather it, and I could see he almost was going to try a back heel as well. I mean, he's so relaxed at the back.
Yeah, they're playing brilliantly, aren't they? But they've got that freedom, they've got that confidence to sort of attack from anywhere. And I think it comes back to the way they play in the Super Rugby. We're looking at you love stats, but I don't know the dead stat. But first phase tries in Super Rugby, it's like 70-something% come off kicks. First phase tries or first phase line breaks come off kicks, attacking kicks. And you can see that the way New Zealand are using that. And even Japan tried to do that at the start against a blitz defence. And because defences are so strong these days, you've got to look to break up the game in a different way. And the kicking game is a really attacking weapon you can use, and teams are using it.
And the other thing
I just noticed Jimmy's wife has been busy on the old phone, hasn't she, with the old voting there.
But it's because all you guys are wearing black.
It is interesting, though. I mean, I think most people do feel that New Zealand, 54%, feel they've just got a little bit too much for England. Or is that just the mystique of the All Blacks?
Well, I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? I mean, number one, that they are the number one side in the world. They very rarely lose games, and with that becomes an aura. At times it seemed impregnable, until Ireland beat them in 2018. But ever since then, they've gone through this transition period. They didn't win the Rugby Championship, and they really tried a few different things. They gave Mwanga the shirt. They went with back row of Ardie Savea and Sam Cane, and it's coming together. When you can leave players out like Ryan Crotty on the bench, Rico Ioane's 23 and he's thinking, what's happening to my, All Black career? And they've got a long succession of this. It started with Sivivatu, almost broke a record. Well, you can take a seat. Rokafoko comes in, you can do it. You can do one. And then Savea comes in. Now Rico Ioane, 23, with all the tries that he scored, he can't get into that team. Two young fellas coming in, looking as dangerous as ever, and that's the challenge England going to face this weekend.